Hello, I am Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the Monster Point card flowchart that I have created to help you better choose which Monster Point card you should purchase and pursue. So, Gung-Ho has been very generous these past several months in that they're giving us hundreds of thousands of Monster Points on a relatively regular basis. And with all this influx of monster points, many players are now starting to wonder whether or not they should begin purchasing something, and if so, which one should they purchase? Now, there has been lots of different topics and articles written by myself and even the community giving recommendations on what to purchase, but things have obviously shifted because of the meta changes as well as new cards being announced / released in Japan. And this flowchart that I created was made on August 13th, so therefore it contains all the relevant information up to date at this point, as well as taking into consideration what is coming out in Japan. Now, this article will be mostly focusing on this flowchart, which I will definitely enlarge very shortly. And as with any flowchart or tier list, what I want to stress is that they should all be taken with a grain of salt. It doesn't matter who they're made by, where they come from. There may be recommendations that may be advantageous for the average player or the general population. However, your own and unique situation will dictate whether or not you should be following or even truly believing in those tier lists or flowcharts, because again, your situation is different, the reasons why you play the game are different, and I will obviously try and provide disclaimers and rationale as to why I create this flowchart in such a way. So I'm just going to switch over really quickly and pull it up on the screen. Here we are. So hopefully it doesn't block my face too much. I'll just kind of tilt my head this way. But this flowchart basically is starting out with, I have monster points and I want to buy something. Like, that is the main question you have, because again, we're getting all these monster points for free. And from my point of view, what I want to stress is that I believe, and I truly believe, that monster point cards should be advancing your overall progression. You want to improve the amount of content you can clear, because these do cost, obviously, have a price tag associated with them. Yes, they're much easier to come by at this point in time. However, they're still somewhat scarce and or limited, because we're not going to get an unlimited amount. So we do have to still make a conscious decision of whether or not this is beneficial to ourselves. And for myself, when I want to purchase a monster point card, I have to think, will this bring value to my box? And for myself, I am able to already clear all the current content available. So I'm not going to be necessarily asking, do I have an endgame leader that can clear content? Yes, I do. So for myself, it has to provide ulterior benefit. However, for the purpose of this flowchart here, the main question is that, do I have a team that can clear endgame content, or do I have something that's reliable enough at this point in time? And this will hopefully dictate the flow as to where you want to go, because if you don't have an endgame team or leader, you're not clearing all the content currently available, you would follow this path here, and then from here you would be asking yourself, can you make an ideal Dark Athena or Raw Dragon team? If the answer is yes, will this team advance me further? Will it help me clear more content than I already can? If you already can clear in Farm Arena 3 and you can keep pace in Cosmic Trinity, there's no real need to purchase these Monster Point cards unless it's going to help your situation greatly. Maybe the consistency will go up, or maybe it's just the ease of access, maybe just a better sub pool overall. So if the answer is yes, that you have an ideal Dark Athena or Raw Dragon team, or at least very close, which is dictated below here, something very similar at least, yes, you can go there, and if it's going to help your progression advance further, you should purchase them, just because it's going to help you out overall. If you answered no to either of these questions, we come down to, do you own a Yamato, Erd, Saosao, Inahime, or basically fire cards with 7 combos, time extends, etc. for Red Miru. And then you have to ask this question to yourself, will this team help you clear significantly more content than you're currently able to? Because she is harder to use compared to Dark Athena. It's going to have a much higher skill cap, a much more restrictive sub pool. And if the answer is yes, I will be able to clear more content, significantly more content, then it's worth purchasing her if you have the team and as well as the player's skill required to utilize her. If you answered no to either of these questions, we flow back down to here. Do you own Paimon or Light Metatron? If yes, you just pair for friends Light Hera Dragon. You don't have to own Light Hera Dragon. Your friends can do it for you. It's kind of like how Diablos exists. You don't have to own Diablos, just pair with a Diablos friend. And the same thing can be said exactly for the Hera Dragon situation. You don't need to have it. If you have Paimon or Light Metatron, you can definitely pair up, and they are great alternate pairings. It's kind of like how Diablos works. You want to have pairings that are complementary, because double light Hair Dragons obviously is helpful, but no recovery is going to be challenging to use. Now, if you answered no again to this question, we flow back up to this other point here of how readily available is your monster points, because this is also assuming did you have an endgame team or leader, at least for the first part. Because if you answered yes, you already have an endgame team or leader, you need to ask yourself how readily available is your monster points. Now, basically, you can branch off to two different paths. It's either do you just purely rely on the free logins and you do not actively farm monster points. You would just basically go to save your monster points. That's basically the end result that we come to outside of a purchase. You want to save your monster points. If you don't get them readily available, you just get them as free logins, and you don't need to have an endgame leader. Now, if you answered I am IAP heavy, therefore you purchase lots of magic stones, you roll lots, you can sell lots of cards and get monster points that way, or you actively farm on a regular and diligent basis, then we can proceed to buying more wants as opposed to needs, because these are more wants, because this is where you needed to have an endgame leader. This is more so I want to have things to help me out. So now we ask ourselves, is Dark Athena appealing for a leader, sub, or an inherit? Because she has 3 skill boosts, a TPA with a delay, as well as having one of the most mindlessly easy to use leader skills. It's very easy to trigger 49 times multiplier, along with your ease of durability. You have a health multiplier and you have a massive recovery multiplier when matching your water dark. So it's very easy to play her. Low player skill, especially in solo mode when you can use the time extend badge. However, obviously that's not the case for every single person out there. So if you said yes there, you're basically thinking, yes, you can actually inherit Dark Athena. And I actually use Dark Athena as an inherit more often than I like to admit, because a 3-turn delay on an 11-turn cooldown is great value, but you also get a damage enhancing component alongside. So there's actually a tremendous amount you can accomplish with Dark Athena as an inherit, a sub, or even a leader. So then you would purchase her because it's going to make your life easier. If the answer is no to is Dark Athena appealing, do you want a powerful sub? And if the answer is yes, can you actually utilize Ragnarok Dragon or Yomi Dragon effectively? Like, can you actually benefit from them? Yes. Are you sure? Double check. And if so, purchase. Otherwise, we flow back down to here, and do you have an outrageous amount of monster points to burn? Like, if you're just swimming in monster points, will you have buyer's remorse if you buy something that's less ideal? If the answer is no, just do whatever you want. Because in all honesty, Princess Soprano is a good meme. If you're just swimming in monster points and you don't really care, just do what you want. Why are you watching this video? You would have done what you wanted anyways. But if the answer is, if you would have had buyer's remorse is yes, we flow back up and you want to save your monster points. And again, if you did not have an outrageous amount of monster points to burn, you flow back up here and to save your monster points. So as you can see from here, there's only a couple options that I would really recommend you purchasing. It's Dark Athena, Raw Dragon, Ragnarok Dragon, Yomi Dragon, and Red Miru. And Red Miru is kind of the bottom, I'd say, of what you should be purchasing, because it's good, but it's much more restrictive to use. The other options are a little more accessible overall in terms of their flexibility. And yes, I know there are other Monster Point cards available out there. However, none of them are as viable at this point in time. Maybe with a new evolution, the 4 Gentlemen will become relevant again, but at this point in time, the 4 Gentlemen are in a terrible place. Shiva Dragon is just luxury, and if you want luxury, just go for Dark Athena. That sort of idea is kind of in your mindset. So I'm going to transition back into my article, but where is it here? So basically, like, if you have very similar components to this Raw Dragon or Dark Athena team, it can be worth purchasing them, because again, those teams are great at playing through Arena 3 and a lot of other solo content. So like I already mentioned, like, my general idea and strategy used for monster points is that I want to advance your overall progression. If you're struggling to clear Arena 1 and you have a solid Dark Athena or Raw Dragon team that you could possibly make or buy, I would go for it, because then you'll start unlocking all of Arena 1 and all the goodies it has in store. That means you're going to get additional pies or peas. You are going to get lots of rank experience. You're going to get more best friends, because again, you're losing popular leaders that people like to have. So you're going to tremendously advance your growth, because as you are able to clear more content, everything becomes easier. Because when you can farm Arena 1 for all the peas, you're going to get all these skill ups. Now everything is max skilled, everything becomes easier, and you can start transitioning and pushing forward. Furthermore, Raw Dragon and Dark Athena can farm Arena 3 as well, so that's another great thing to look forward to. So that's basically just kind of my belief for what I like to do for my monster points. Again, this may not necessarily apply to you. If you have a different situation or you just like that play style, then definitely go for it. Now, basically this is kind of just summarizing everything that I already mentioned in the flow chart. I'm not going to repeat myself because I already talked about having the flow chart available. Again, this article will be on my website, so you can basically just look at your leisure. You can look at the flowchart at your own pace. You can pause the YouTube video, but I believe everyone's quite intelligent who watches my videos. So basically, in conclusion, like the veteran players out there, like they do have somewhat solidified and well-rounded monster boxes, so you may or may not necessarily need to purchase monster point cards for needs. They're more so wants. They're going to help you out, but not to the same degree as a newer player. So at least for myself, what my strategy is right now is I'm basically just going to save my monster points. I do not have any need to purchase anything at this point in time. I can comfortably clear all the content currently available. I don't need extreme luxury, and I'd rather just save and wait for the next wave of power creep. Again, this may not necessarily apply to yourself. So let me know what you think about this flowchart in the comments below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? And what do you want to do with your monster points? Because we are going to be gaining another 310,000 this month. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day. I wish you best of luck in your own adventures, and happy puzzling. Bye.